Hello everyone, and welcome to my first review on the channel here. So, as you guys know, I have a pretty big LEGO Star Wars minifigure collection. In fact, I'm only missing about 200 figures out of the 1,400, about to be like 1,500 come next year. So, out of one of like the largest groups of individual LEGO minifigures, I have a vast majority of them here, closing in on that almost 90% mark. So very happy about that. Now, one question that I've been getting asked is, do I keep all of my LEGO sets or do I sell them? And for the longest time, I did keep them, or I would part them out into making BrickVault models like this one here. What I've been doing now is I've been selling them off to try to recoup money to be able to purchase parts to get models like these in the studio. So this has been my area focus for, probably I would say the past 4 years of my collecting journey, about coming up on 5 here. Really loving these custom models and what BrickVault's been able to do over there. So shout out to them, shout out to David. He's been killing it there so far. Loving the new models that's been coming out. Reinvigorated myself into updating a lot of these models because I had the original versions of these, which was actually just the Anakin's Interceptor and Obi-Wan's Jedi Interceptor. Not even the blue variant was out yet. And I went through and basically parted them out and then purchased the rest of the parts to get these, and I was able to add another one too. And I also do plan on adding the green variant as well in my collection very soon. But these models have been amazing, and I wanted to talk about them here in a bit of a deep dive video, and to just kind of stress the fact that I think that LEGO sets are good, but I think people need to recognize that custom builds are far and away 1 million times more superior. And I hope my review of this is able to convince you to go out and maybe purchase some instructions from a builder. There's tons of them that I've been following for years now, and they put out some amazing stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin the review of these. First up here, we have Anakin's Interceptor, and I just gotta say, next to throwing it, I can pretty much be as rough as I want with this thing, and I am not worried that it's going to fall apart. A few pieces may come off because it's a custom build, but this has got to be one of the most strongest custom builds I have ever had. Now, comparatively to the version 1 that they had, this one is just so superior. The old model used to break a lot, mainly this front portion here. Not a problem here. It's been so reinforced by the bottom plates here that it really helps maintain this snot area here to not be so, loose as it once was. So really love that. Now, for me, what actually sold the model and why I wanted to update it was the use of the cheese slopes here. As you can see, there's just the 1x1 cheese slopes that are able to create this nice, I almost want to say it's just such a nice angle, and I really love it, and I really think that it demonstrates the markings of the ship, and it was such a fun building technique to be able to use. And mainly you can call this set kind of the bracket set because my gosh, let's see, we got brackets, see another bracket there, another one, and even coming down here, all this section is just tons of brackets here, same another one there. And it's been such a great piece to use for these snot techniques, and what people and builders have been able to do with them is just incredible. And it just gives such a nice smooth and sleekness to the build, while also remaining having good rigidity too. I seriously feel if I drop this, it would be fine. But regardless of that, moving into the upper portion here, I really like how they've included some studs here. I do like most of my custom models to show a little bit of Lego, and majority of it be smooth. So I think just a little touch here is actually really nice, just to show that, hey, this is still Lego. It's not a, I don't know, like what's it called, the Black Series, like, models or anything like that. Like, it's its own thing. Now, another part here that I really like is the use of these pieces. They're actually like car spoiler pieces in the Speed Champion series, but they work so well here because they hug up against the cockpit here so nicely. Now, it's not a perfect connection. You can see if you have it all the way up here, there's a little bit of a gap. So I like to kind of split the difference here and have it just a little bit. But it just hugs so nicely around the cockpit there. And on the previous iteration of this one, it was actually, it was a clip with, I believe, a 1x6 or 1x8 tile kind of wedged in between there. And, that was fine, but it would break off. It was hard to get it, just right. But with this one, I think it just looks so much better. Stability has really been king with these. Again, I can't say that enough. And yeah, so, I do believe that I might have color swapped these back spoiler pieces here, but for me, these are fine. I just have this one on display. Now, the base of the build starts with this section here, and I mean, he just did such an amazing job. Like, how much they're able to get away with just a small core section allows the build to just basically have such a strong anchor point that these wings are so stable, especially with how there's some connections that you think are going to be flimsy, but because the base here is so rock solid, it totally works. And so I really can't say enough good things about this set. Let's pop off the top here. All right, now that I have the canopy piece off here, we can kind of get a look inside the model. And you can see I replaced some of the printed tile pieces there to just put some dark bluish gray ingots there. So I think that looks great. I also like the little HUD module here. Again, there might be printed pieces on there, some other things, but I opted out of it because I don't necessarily need it for my collection here. One thing I do want to note, and as I was taking the canopy piece off, it reminded me, is that the connection here, so I don't know if you can see, but there's a little roller skating piece right there where those two wheels are, little round circles. It's a roller skater piece that is hooked on to a bracket there. Now, it's such a wonderful connection because it does make it really smooth and seamless. However, I will say, getting that piece on, I don't know if it was just me, but I struggled with it a little bit. So I thought that connection was, again, super interesting, but also a little tricky. So just be mindful of that as well when going into the build here. But other than that, I mean, Anakin Starfighter is just near perfect for me. Alrighty, next up here we have Obi-Wan Starfighter. And again, I'm not going to go incredibly detailed in this one because, again, it's kind of just a color swap here between Obi-Wan and Anakin's. Also, too, I do want to note, I did purchase the right tiles. I placed them somewhere. I have no idea. The other Obi-Wan's has the right one, but for this one here, I just dropped the ball. So, but again, I love dark red. I think it's such a great color, and what's also fun too about dark red is that there's reddish brown in this build too, and I bet you can barely see it. Only if I bring the camera up close here, you can see that again. It's just a couple bracket pieces there that are in reddish brown. I think those are the only pieces in this entire build here. There's been other models that I've had where reddish brown has to play a little more of a prominent factor just because some stability pieces have not been produced in dark red just yet. So, I think that's totally fine. I actually love the creative aspect of blending colors like that. I think that's really cool. So yeah, again, same thing here. I mean, the only thing I would say that kind of stands out are these light bluish gray. I believe they're, like the mixel joints there. Again, It's just because Lego hasn't produced a color in this in dark red, but if they ever do, I'm sure they'll update it and, you know, replace it there. But that's the only thing that I think, at least like visibility wise or aesthetically, kind of stands out for this build. Other than that, again, it's a direct color copy, color swap of the Anakins, and again, you can't build one without the other. I think, in my opinion here, like you gotta build both of these to have in your display. And at the end of this, I'll show you how I kind of have them displayed. One thing to note too is that I do need to build the stands for these ones, and I'm working on getting the parts for those now, so these will be displayed like really nicely soon. But yeah, again, nothing too crazy here. I would say, again, I rate this one same as Anakin, so yeah, really like it. And let's move on to the final Interceptor. And last up here is one that has actually become one of my favorites here, bar again just the light bluish gray there, and also to the dark bluish gray here where the dark blue meets. Again, this should all be dark blue, but I don't blame anybody for that, besides Lego for not producing this color, but I totally get it. And even then, I love the color swaps here, and I'm so excited to get the green version of this Interceptor in my collection too, because I think it's such a fun little thing. Again, I think with collectors, having different colors of the same vehicle is just awesome, or Clone Trooper, by that matter, is what we are drawn towards, so definitely like that. And again, not too much to say on this one, besides that I really think that, again, design-wise, it's a color swap, but again, it's so like well done and well built that I think if you're gonna build an Utapau MOC, you gotta incorporate this build in some way. Like seriously, like it is such a great build. Also noting here too is that there is no landing gear. In the last versions, they did have landing gear, but honestly, I don't think these need them. I mean, unless you want it to like tilt a little bit this way, I really think they sit like well like this. Like I have them displayed just like this on my shelf, and I think they're fine. Of course, I want to get them in their position of like, you know, kind of that little angle there, but I think like this, it's just totally great. So yeah, I think without further ado, let's wrap this review up. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to this review. Again, I don't want to do reviews on Lego sets. I think that is an oversaturated market. I think everybody has said what they need to say on all Lego sets, but I don't think there's been enough people reviewing these custom models here. And so I really want to give praise to the designers. Thomas Jenkins is the creator of these Interceptors here. He also did the version 1 of these two, which, fun fact, building those Jedi Interceptors in 2020 those were my first ever custom builds. And I remember showing them to my friends, showing them to my parents, just seeing how amazing people can be and how creative builders can be with the Lego parts that, you know, are out today. And it seriously, this was the stepping stone into this whole new world of, you know, almost like, you know, forget the Lego sets, let's go straight into custom models. And I really like this review is special to me because it brings me back to 4 years ago when I like kind of took that like first leap of, you know, buying instructions and sourcing parts and, you know, using digital instructions and all these weird snot bracket techniques, all these techniques that I'm like, oh, I've never seen a designer do that in like an official Lego set. Is this really going to work? But it did. And I really, really urge anybody. I mean, I think I built these, like, again, I had a lot of the parts, but I think you could build one of these for like 40 or 50 bucks. Like, and it's so worth it. Just take that like first leap. I can't stress it enough. Like, these builders need to be deserved, have the recognition that they deserve. And I just can't keep saying enough positive things here. So if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more of these videos come out, drop a comment below asking what custom model you'd like me to see review next. I have a couple here that are already built. I have like at least right now, honestly, 10 custom models in the works right now that I am just sourcing pieces for. And I cannot wait to share those with you guys. So again, if you want to see more of that, please hit that subscribe button. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.